And thank you for taking your time with me. I just want to get back to height and stories. You said, now, once again, I can't sit there and tell from height and stories whether they're that 6 foot from the base plane, and I guess this is what's important, that's correct. You know
so yeah.
Do you have that? Do you have that illustration here?
To wrap it up really quick, nobody is disputing the fact that the southern building is a 3-story building. It's a 3-story building under the code, under every measurement we have, every standard we have to determine stories and so forth. But it's allowed.
By its skin of the teeth, maybe.
Yeah. So, but the key is though is that 35-foot height limit that's on that zone district is fairly similar to what if you were to rebuild your house or your mom's house on that lot. It's a similar height allowance. So somebody can come in and build a 2.5, 3-story building on that property, and it would be about
30-foot height limit.
30 foot with additional height based upon the width of the lot. So I mean, the disconnect is not there. Right now, it's a huge disconnect between what you have a ranch and what they're proposing.
Well, I just want to make sure the height and stories are right. The height, because now in this last plan, I believe there was introduced a mezzanine in there.
Well, that was for this unit right here. Yeah,
and
this corner unit.
When I drew this plan on this with very little dimensions, okay, what I could see was that there was an allowance not to be a story on that corner lot, right? And I think you called them out on it one time.
Yeah, which is why they came back and did the mezzanine thing. Yeah, so the mezzanine is a floating deck inside a.
But this was below grade. On the first floor.
This unit is actually at grade on the garage in the first floor. It's a handicap accessible unit. This garage is at grade. It's not below grade. That's why it's accessed directly off the alleyway. They have a small ground floor space in here actually, and then they have another story above that with a mezzanine in it. I think we have floor plans in here somewhere.
So to sum it up, okay. All these units here they're individual units. Even though they're wall by wall, connected together by walls, they're, let's see, I'm losing the track here. Let's see, primary structures, right? You call them primary structures.
Yes, this is the building, and within the building, the use is a multi-dwelling unit.
Okay, within the building. So each building, this is the primary structure, building 1 and 2. You know, so I got it.
Yeah.
So that's not called the primary structure or main primary structure.
Each unit is not an individual structure, is I think what you're getting at.
Each unit is not an individual.
Yeah.
That's even more confusing. Okay, I think we can wrap it up. I'm sure you got better things to do. I just, like I said, if you can just show me where the height and stories for the rest of that's not being counted.
Yeah. So
this shows the N unit, and I guess where's the mezzanine here? Right here.
No, this is the southern building. This is a 3-story building. 1 story, 2 story, 3 stories.
This is the north building.
The south building, isn't it? Oh, I'm sorry.
South building.
You're right. I'm sorry. So this is not showing the N unit. This is not showing the N unit very clearly. This is showing the interior unit.
So what I'm interested in is this dimension right here, from here to the.
Yeah. So this is like a middle.
Where's the
thing.
base plane here?
This is not for purposes of height. This diagram, it's just a cross section of the building.
Okay.
So you're right. This is 2 stories. Because it doesn't trip. Let me go through this really quick.
Do you have a detailed drawing that I can look at that shows a section like this? That shows me a section.
I don't have it right. Maybe the building plan sets have, but I don't have one yet.
That's what I need.
But you're asking the 4 criteria. So
you said that they were in violation of B or possibly in violation of B and C.
Yeah, on the initial one, because because the finished floor level of this story right here was greater than 6 feet above grade, or
Right.
more than 50%. They lowered that, and it's no longer greater than 6 feet for more than 50% of the perimeter. In fact, I actually,
That's the northern building.
yeah, which is the one that is more restrictive. It's a 2-story. So if you look at the initial submittals, if you looked at the initial submittals, the finished floor of this second story
Right.
is about 7 feet above grade.
That wasn't too far off.
Yeah, and on the garage side it was taller, right? It's about 12 feet. On the revised submittal, the finished floor, at the maximum one, which is about this unit, the finished floor is only 5 feet above the adjacent grade, and it's less than 6 feet along this facade, along the eastern facade, and along the western facade. So no more than 50% of the building is less than 6 feet above the grade, the second story. So they lowered the building to meet that standard. That's how they did it. They actually lowered the building.
And they didn't have to lower the southern building.
No, because the extra story. No point in even trying, because they were allowed that extra story.
See, that's what I was saying. You know, in the diagrams they show you, you basically have your base plane or your primary street, right? Here's your building, okay? And then you have a grade. Now, our grade, or that grade, if we're questioning here, is more like this.
Yeah,
Okay.
the code doesn't speak to house speed.
Yeah.
It doesn't
So they
speak
get
to
a
house
whole
speed.
extra story.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
But they still have to maintain the 35-foot height. So they might
Okay.
get an extra story,
So
but it's only 35 feet
Back to
high.
my argument again. Context. Density.
In context, it's very similar to what you're permitted to do on your
Well,
lot.
because of the height, 35.
Yeah.
But then density and, you know what I'm saying? No.
But it's a different zone district. It's a mixed-use zone district, which is why they allow more density on that.
Neighborhood context.
But it's always been a non-residential or commercial or mixed-use zone. It's always been that way.
That's good. We'll go
always-
round and round forever. And
Yeah.
you know what? Thank you.
No, yeah, I'm just saying what it was. It was always that, and it remains that to this day. Whether we agree about it or not, you have valid arguments, but that is something that is not in place today. So
I guess it's a pretty hot issue.
absolutely.
I mean, it's becoming more and more hot.
You are correct.
As I guess, as you read the papers and as building goes on and people's
You're absolutely right.
see what
And whether this council
they
decides,
rot,
yeah,
you know,
whether
because
this council
everybody
decides-
that I knew was behind the new zoning change, right? Now they're seeing it actually become a reality. They're not so much
But
behind.
again, to Jeff's earlier point, this could have been done under the old B2 as well. This exact
Right,
project.
right.
So
But-
there's some things where
What-
the code changed, right? The applicable standards on the ground.
They
There's
wanted-
some things, like in this case, where it didn't change it a bit.
Right. They wanted
Right.
a change for the better.
We're seeing an unprecedented surge of growth in the city
Yeah.
of Denver, and as a region, not just the city. And quite frankly, those people.
I hope we don't overdevelop. You know what the biggest problem is? Water.
Yes. Talk to California.
Oh yeah.
They tell you.
Hey, at least they got the ocean they can dump all their garbage into.
Yeah,
We don't
they
got
burn-
any of that.
They don't burn up first.
Take care. Thank you very much. Let me get out of here. Get out of your hair. Thank you very much.